Good day, one and all. My name is Kathy, and welcome to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Today is Holiday Wednesday, and I'm going to be making a Halloween card today. And I'm going to be using this very old rubber stamp I have of a barren tree that I thought would make a great Halloween stamp. And I'm hoping I can find a new stamp like this. It is so old that the rubber is starting to disintegrate in the background. So I'm hoping it will stamp well. So I want to use it before it is lost. Another reason to get your stamps out and use them all the time. Okay, for today I'm going to be making a 5x7 card. And I don't have black in a cover weight stock. So I'm using a white 10" by 7", scored it at the 5" line, folded it, creased it with my bone folder. And then I cut a piece of black. This is a thin layering weight cardstock. This measures 5" by 7" and will go right over the top of the card. And I might have to trim off a little bit because each time you cut, even though you're cutting right at the 5" mark, it's not always the same. And then my top layer is going to be white. This measures 7" by 4 3/4. So I just going to have a thin line at the top and the bottom. So the black's only going to show there. And I'm going to be doing some ink blending, stamping, somewhat stenciling, a little bit of mixed media here. All right, so let me get started. I'm going to make a sky scene with a cat. So I have these cat dies, and I have already cut them out. Let me move the bling off to the side so you can see what I've already cut out. I have, again, I don't know where these cats came from. There's a large and a smaller one, and then they have the matching tails. And I cut out the smallest one with the tail. Don't know where these ones came from. I'm using bats. I cut out the large bat, and I cut out 4 of these small bats. And this is from Spellbinders. It's either from the Haunted House or the Boo-Licious Fall Cupcake Large Die of the Month. It might actually be from both of those. I just mixed them together because they were all Halloween theme. But I'm using the large and the small bats. And I think there was some, I don't know if I'm going to use anything from the Spellbinders Sunday Drive. I pulled it out just in case because there was bones and things, but I don't think I'm going to use that. So I'm going to set that aside. And then I haven't decided whether I'm going to rubber stamp a sentiment or die cut a sentiment. So for just in case I die cut, I cut out 2 in this gold mirror cardstock of the Happy Halloween die. And this is one I got on Amazon several years ago. And I cut out 2 so I can layer it and make it thicker. Or I have these rubber stamps, and I was kind of thinking it's the most spectacular time of the year, and this is from Northwoods rubber stamps, number 060. They're cat on jacks and squirrels on jacks. So I may use that, or I may use this, or I might use the both of them. But I know I'm going to use this tree stamp. So what I want to do, and I have my waffle flower grip mat already down here, pardon the noise. And I'm going to set my card and my black base aside because I really don't need those for now. And I'm going to turn this because I like to work at an angle. Now I'm going to make not a sun, the moon. And I had just a circle die, and I cut this out of some scrap cardstock that I had because I want the moon to be well defined. But it's going to be up in this corner, so I'm going to go all the way up here. And I'm going to use, for my orange sky and the moon, I've chosen GinaK's Wild Dandelion, Peach Bellini, and Sweet Mango. And I'm hoping that these colors will go nicely together. The Wild Dandelion, I'm going to use this as my scrap paper. I want this moon to be dark yellow. You can use any circle, or if you're good at making a circle without cutting a die shape, but I want the edges to be defined. So I'm pressing really hard. I'm squishing my bristles flat because I want that to be a bright moon. I'm going to pick this up and see how that gives it a nice defined edge. Now I'm just going to go lightly and extend the yellow out a smidge because the moon is glowing. All right, I'm done with that color. Now the whole card is going to be colored here. So I've chosen Peach Bellini for the next color because it's kind of a transition color between the wild dandelion and the sweet mango, I'm hoping. And I'm just going to kind of go very lightly. I'll just do it up here. Very lightly in that yellow I did and add just a little bit of the Peach Bellini. And then I'm also going to take this and put this on the moon a little bit. So we have kind of like orange clouds going over the moon. And I'm just I'm pushing down and then making like a zigzag. But I want to get a little bit more Peach Bellini down here. All right, now I can just go on to my darker color for the rest of the card. Sweet Mango. And this is going to be an in-your-face kind of an orange. And I want it to be a speckled sky. I don't want it to be a solid because night hasn't totally set. And I want splotches of color. And then I'm going to go back in with the yellow over this area here. I'm hoping this will come out the way I'm envisioning in my mind. I think I do want this to be a little darker. Let me grab one of the other colors of orange. Be right back. Okay, I don't know if I want to go with Tangerine Twist. That's almost brighter, or Tomato Soup. Let me try the Tangerine Twist just to see. Ah, there we go. That's what I was envisioning. And I'm pressing hard, but I'm not smushing my bristles. And remember, I want this to be a non-solid background. I want this to be textured, swirly, splotchy, because it's a Halloween night sky. But I don't want to introduce purples or blacks yet. I just don't. Okay. Now I'm going to add some more of the wild dandelion back. And just come down here a little. Because I want to see this sky glowing. And then I'm going to go over the spots that I didn't do in the orange with the yellow. And then I'm going to put my shape back on here for just a minute because I want this to be dark, 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 dark. So I'm going to go over it again. There we go. Okay, done coloring. So that was the wild dandelion, Peach Bellini, Mango Twist, and Tangerine Twist. Sweet Mango and Tangerine Twist. Did not use the Tomato Soup. Okay, so I'm done coloring my background. Just going to clean this off with a little bit of water. And I'm hoping this card will come together. You know, you get a picture in your mind, and it doesn't always work out the way your mind pictures it to. But I'm hoping that this one will. Just putting the covers back on here. Set that aside. Now I'm going to rubber stamp. So I have my Misty stamping platform here. Now this is an old rubber stamp. It used to be on wood, and I put it on foam, but this is so old that I'm going to need to add a little bit of tape to the back of this. And I want this to come off the card. I'm just going to use a little bit of tape runner here. Now I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair Nocturne, and this may take a couple stampings to get it dark enough, because I can feel and see that this old rubber stamp is just absorbing the ink right into it. Yep, that's going to take several stampings. This is one of my favorite stamps, so I would like to find a new version of it. It just serves so many utilitarian purposes for card making and scrapbooking. I'm just going to get a drink here. Yeah, it's going to take a couple times. I doubt there's any way to recondition this stamp, because it is literally falling apart in spots. I think it was a garage sale find to begin with, so I really don't know how old it is. I believe one more stamping ought to do it. Yes, that'll do it nicely. I'm just going to clean it up with water. And I think I used to use Stays On ink a lot, and it had a fairly harsh cleanser, and I don't know if that had anything to do with the stamp or if it's just so old. Yeah, it's starting to crack. Okay. Now I'm just going to clean this off with water. Set that aside for now. Okay, now I want to put a fence on this, but I don't have a large fence die. So I cut out 1/4 inch strips of black. I want to say they're about an 8 1/4 inch long, but it's just whatever I had left from the paper. So I'm going to glue these down. You know, I think I want to add some grass. Hold on. I'm going to put the camera on pause. I'm going to get another rubber stamp. Not exactly what I was looking for, but I'm going to use some of this. This is from Practical Publishing. And I'm going to use, I was thinking more grass, but these flowers should be nice right along the edge of this. So I'll get out my stamping platform first. I want something behind the fence, but this may not be exactly what I was going for, but I think it will work. Yeah, I'll put it just hanging off the edge there. I know I have some grass, but I couldn't find it. Oh, I couldn't. That just slid because I had it all wet. All right, so let's try this again. Washing it off is important. Drying it off, even more important. Okay. And I need to do that again because I want this to be dark. That's good. Now I'm going to slide it down. And I'm going to put them at various heights. Yeah, that's good. One more. Yeah, that's perfect. All right. I think the size perspective will be off a little bit, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'll do one more time. I was trying to find my scene builder stamps, and those I couldn't locate quickly enough. I will search for those tonight. Okay. All right, now I'm going to put my fence down. And the one I'm just going to glue straight down, because everything else will depend on its placement. And I left the cap off, so let me get this cleaned out here. There we go. Just going to get my fence a little bit straight. I am going to line it up on my mat and use the lines on my mat. I need a little bit more glue down here, I can tell. All right, now the second one is going to go about here. Put my cap on because the next ones we have to cut to size to make the fence posts. Slide this down a little. Okay, now I'm going to trim these off. Where'd I put my scissors? Oh, goodness. Just grab another pair and then I'll find them. All right. I'm gonna grab my other small pair because I need to cut the fence posts. Now I want the cat to sit on here too. So the cat's going to sit somewhere over here. I'm just putting placement for now. All right. And I think I'm going to use just double-sided tape back here. That'll be a lot easier. And then I can just peel off what I need without worrying about gluing down. Exactly. Better burnish this down. well, let's start down at this end then. That end doesn't want to come off. We'll just come down here. Trim that off even. And then, let's see, we'll come about every inch. Or thereabouts. It's just a fence. So if I go down to the next inch, make a cute little fence. See, that's what I mean. I wanted a little something behind this. To give it a little bit of depth and dimension to this card. Yeah, this double-sided tape worked out much easier. So it looks like I'm going to need one more of the piece. It looks like you can get away with 3.5 strips of this 1/4 inch wide paper. Just put a little double-sided tape on this. I always have scrap black strips from when I cut card panels. Okay. Now let me figure out where I want to put the cat. I'm thinking right here, between the fence posts, because he doesn't want to hurt his little back end sitting on a post. I'm going to pop him up just a little bit using some 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch actually, foam strips. Okay, he's going to sit here. I'm going to have his little posterior surface kind of down a little bit. And then I'm going to pop up his tail, but I want a fatter, a higher piece up here. So I'm going to cut one of these circles. These are higher loft. And I'm just going to cut a very, very narrow strip for the top. And then I'm going to put actually a flat dot on the bottom. I just want like the center of his tail to look like it's sticking up higher. And then I'm just going to use a glue dot here. Now I'm going to Wink Stella the cat, but I'm not going to use the clear Wink Stella. I have black Wink Stella. So I want to get this on. I should have done that before I put him on, just in case I go outside the edge and hit the card itself. So I'll just be a little bit more careful. This doesn't add a lot of glitz and glitter. It just makes him sparkle a little bit, like maybe he's caught in the moonshine. And has a little bit of sparkle from that. Just a hint of sparkle. And I am going to take my clear Wink of Stella and sparkle the moon. And a little bit out of the moon, where I did that yellow and then the peach Bellini. Just to give it a little hint. Now I'm going to put on some bats. I've cut several bats here. And do I want to put my Happy Halloween? Oh, I think I do. We're going to use that. But I also am thinking I want a stamp. So let me see. Here's to a Beautiful Halloween. Would be nice. Let me see if it'll fit somewhere. Here's to a Beautiful Halloween. And if I put the Happy Halloween over here, maybe if I put that there. Okay, I'm gonna do that. It's probably gonna be a little too much, but that's okay. That's me. Here's to a beautiful. Now, I don't know if this is straight or not because it's not a clear stamp for me to see through. So I'm just going to take a little piece of acetate and stamp on that. And I need another drink, pardon me. Oh, yes, okay, that's going to be good. Always save your acetate. You can use it for something like that to make sure you've got your placement just where you want it. Doesn't always mean you're going to get it perfect. It's just a little added extra. I think one more time on the black. This is a well-loved stamp pad and it is getting slightly dry, but I use it till I can't use it anymore. All right. Okay, so now I am totally done with the stamping. I'm glad I pulled those out because I did want to do that. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this card together and then figure out where I'm going to put the bats. Because I will need to trim this white card down just a hair. I'm almost positive. I see there's just maybe a 1/16 of an inch down here that sticks out from the white. You can cut paper on the same cutter using the same measurements, but off just a hair. Remember, it's operated by a human and we're only human. Now, slide it up to the top. Okay. But where, didn't quite get it. I want to take an alcohol marker just to the tip of this card because I want this to be black. And that way you've got just the seam black. And I'm going to do that here also. I'm going to have to look into getting some black coverweight cardstock. But that does nicely. That's just 120 black. Any black will work. Most blacks are the same color. Now this card I'm going to put on, and it's going to go right semi-centered between the top and the bottom. Let's get those bats off there. So it's going to go edge to edge, and then just you'll have a narrow black top and a narrow black bottom. Okay, now let me figure out where all of this is going to go. So I am going to use this Happy Halloween. So I'm going to glue these two together just to add a little bit more dimension. I love glue bottles. Sometimes they don't want to come out at all, and then other times they're just pouring out. Take after their owner, I think. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to put that right there on the fence. And I'm going to angle it a little bit. I think I like that better. Of course, I got glue everywhere now. Let's see if I can. Once this is dry, I will go back and polish up the gold, which it's actually working now. Gold, the gold mirror tends to get fingerprints, and it'll show glue quite easily. Now I want to figure out these bats. Should have one more, but that's all right. Okay, that's a good placement for the bats. All right, now I don't know if it needs any bling. I'm kind of thinking it probably does not. Maybe he needs a little collar. Let's see what these look like. Oh, these look nice on there. I don't think I want the big ones, so I'll see if I can get some small ones out here. Just go with some little bling. They're a translucent orange. I think this one I want to be a little bit bigger. There, okay, that's my shimmery placement. Just gonna put the dots on, then I'll come back and put these on. Get my wax pencil here. Okay, that's my card for today. Oh, I really like that. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I do hope I've inspired you a little bit to get your stuff out and play. Think of different pieces you can put together that doesn't have to be from the same kit. I'm not a kit girl. I kind of take everything and spread it apart, like the cats were separate, the bats separate. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching.